Oh my goodness, we're back with part 2. Here we are on March 16th, 2025. That first part of the stream, bruh. If you're just coming to this video and you didn't go to the first part of this on the VOD, you just got to know. It was a hell of a journey. But, you know, broke it up a little bit with a little bossa nova. I took a break here. That's why you see the pretty little view right now. I had a little bossa nova music to kind of, you know, what do you call it when chefs, they give you a little something to change the taste to your mouth to get prepared for something else? We had one of those moments there. So anyhow, we're gonna get ourselves right back into our stream. A bunch of music still hanging out there. Everybody patiently waiting. Been very so kind with the donos, as well as great comments. I mean, the back and forth on this particular, cleanse the palates. Yes, Blur, thank you very much. Cleanse the sonic palate, if you would. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start off with It Snows in Australia. One of our legacy members here, our usual suspects. And let's see where we're going with this. Up. Okay, I see where we're going with this. For those of us who read music, are we ready for this? For those of you who don't read music, actually, if this is what I think it is, and you know, it might be I don't know what it is. I'm just looking at the thumbnail. It might be a scrolling. This is kind of a unique little thing, even if you don't read music, but you can hear and kind of eye-hand coordinate. It's kind of a fun little practice if this is it. If it's not, I just made myself sound like a real D-bag. But one of my favorite contemporary classical composers, this is a string quartet with electric guitar. Anyone? Okay, guys, let's do this. All right. Yeah, the name of the song is Nothing to Express, with score by the artist Yair Klartag. Okay, maybe don't try to read this. Damn, is this abstract? Build 7854. Here we go. This sounds what it must sounds like when the Colosseum, you know, starting your exploratory colonoscopy or something. So abstract, man. It's a pit strum that they do. Pling, pling, pling. This has got to be so tightly rehearsed. There goes my lactating again. Shit. Fucking jump scare. Jesus Christ. How could I possibly have gotten a jump scare from this? This has been like a Guantanamo Bay torture chamber session for me. Jesus. Just give me a second. I'm waiting for my brain cells to reassemble so I can make words instead of body sounds come out of my mouth. Yes, it was still very musical. And there are many different ways that a piece of work like this, so abstract in its composition, could be used in of itself, because it created a lot of theater of mind for you people. You said Looney Tunes, or you know, that's what music does. You can close your eyes and you listen to it, and it creates that theater of the mind. This is not the first time that I've definitely heard a piece of music like this. I think this track coming in on the heels of the other music I heard earlier today, it's just one hell of a freaking stream, man. Just dying. It is unique to watch, you know, when I was reading the music and stuff like that. There's some of the markings in there that I would have never thought of using, or because I don't think I'd ever would have written anything quite like this that would require some of that. But you know what, Snows? You do have a very uniquely genuine abstract vibe, you know, to the choices that you bring, as well as some of your own compositions. And in the craft of creating music, there is definitely space here for this, you know, style of music. Though it takes us out of the norm of, you know, songs that have hooks or memorable this or memorable that. Something like this is just a memorable experience, you know, and that's why this is out there and people like it. And 30,000 views later, you know, people are listening to this, whether just out of its macabre nature of like, what the fuckaken is this? And it even comes with music. Got to see this. You know, I wouldn't doubt if there are music professors or educators that are pulling this up in their classes to show the kind of dynamics and the possibilities that can be written. You know, as someone who's also got that educator vibe, you know, and I like to kind of teach people that I talk bubbles with when it comes to music, something like this is saying, oh, you think you got a piece of music? Let's check this out. And I think this kind of composition is very important. You know what I mean? To be that part of a, you know, process. Outside of that, fuck, man, I'm tired right I felt like that last section felt like the last pull of a colonoscopy that got dried out. I was like, oh, my whole innards just went black. Just not because of the piece of music, it's just because of this journey today, guys. It's just been fucking unbelievable. Oh my God. I'm just saying, please be kind to me today. Is there any more of this I can be expecting moving forward? Jesus, this is like the full heroic dose stream. All right, let's see if we can pull it back together. All right. Before I go for another hit of Moxie. All right, here we go. Thanks, Snows. I do appreciate it. It was very cool. Listen. All right. Like I need coffee, but that's all I got left. Coffee and water. Stand by. And I think I'm going to have one of my strawberry strudels. Okay. Next up. DJ Tambor. How are you, bub? Okay. I'm sorry, this is rude. Give me a second. Oh. You know, I do have just a couple more gummies that I reserved for that time where I was saying, you know, I never know where I'm going to need these. They're lightheaded ones. They're just 10 milligram, but I think after this stream, this qualifies for me to have to like pull myself down. All right. This is coming to us from DJ Tambor. This is a game. Yay. Trails in the Sky, FC, first chapter. Song is The Enforcers. This is composed by Takahide Murayama and arranged by Yokihiro Jindu. This is the main theme of the villains of the series, whose so far unknown motivations for doing what they are doing in game. All right, DJ Tambor. Thank you so much, DJ. Thank you for a regular song. Really, thank you. You know if you know. I love the percussive sound design. Nice. This track is like pulling my binaural moment back in order. I love the low choir behind the crunch guitar chords. The simplicity and the beauty of the melody is exactly what I needed now. Sizzly tube saturated guitars, I like that. Though it's repeating the pattern, it's really powerfully hypnotic. So I'm wondering where in the game this is playing. DJ, where is this happening? The scrapey of the pick in the lead work, you know if you know. Oh, this makes sense for good cutscene music for sure. You bring in an organ like that, and you know what it does. Gives you that darker, gothy vibe. I recognize that sample, that loop, that beat loop. You see, I love this. This is really super creative with the sound design percussion in the back and this meandering, weird, quirky vocal organ thing. That sounds so wrong in every which way, no matter how you say it. Cancelled. But the lead guitar sounds like it's like a DI into a piece of outboard gear, like the old GP7 Roland or something. So I guess if this is something like you say, it's a cutscene, it's probably one of those things. If I recall cutscenes in video games, it's like, and tell me if I'm wrong or right, is that you can walk away, like if you like want to make a sandwich and you let it sit on a cutscene and then it loops. Does it do the same thing like a theme, like a like an opening main theme of a game when you're setting up, you know, your character and stuff like that? I really, DJ, you don't know. You don't know how much I appreciate that track. After everything I just went through, that was such a joy to listen to. It really made it enjoyable. But what I do like, and it plays and then stops. Okay, that's why it ended the way it did. I thought maybe that was a looping point or something. But what I really liked about it is that the use of the sound design percussion. And for those of you that may not know what that is well, percussion truly is anything, right? Truth be told, the history of music and the world put together is you hit something, it's a percussive sound. But sound design percussion is kind of like the terminology that I use, that it just sounds like it's created as like somebody may have hit like a long cable on something, and they take it and sample and put it in and make it percussive. It doesn't have a tonal value, it's got a percussive value. But I love that setup of that with a very long reverb and stuff like that gave you that sense of ambience without it being too flooded, you know, in the reverb and a pre-delay and stuff. So it gives you a nice spacey thing. But once the rhythm came in pretty straightforward, there was a little bit, just a tinge of kind of a Trent Reznor kind of vibe with the sound design of that percussion. When the guitars came in, which was a joy for me, really needed to hear guitars at that point in my life. I really liked the tone of the lead. Like I said earlier, it sounded like it was just like driven right through, like directly into an old Roland GP. I forgot what it was called. Somewhere in the 90s was a piece of outboard gears. It was right after the Zoom 9030 era. But the final thing I want to sprinkle on that is I really did appreciate the vocal melody. Because there hasn't been a lot of things that have been repetitive and melodic so far today. So I'm just saying, this is why you guys come to watch me melt down, frick. You know, but it was a great track. I really liked it. I really dug it. It put me in a really good, it lifted me, bro. I got lifted. I'm back. Thank you so much, DJ. And always for hanging out, usual suspects. All right. Next up, SB. Here you go, SB. Let's see, what do we got here? SB wants us to listen to, let's see, this is called Gravemind, feature, Mick Gordon. We all love Mick Gordon from the Doom soundtrack. You know, I don't know anything about Mick Gordon in some of his other past musical endeavors. I think, correct me if I'm right, SB, but he was part of a band, maybe during the writing of the music of Doom or something. Maybe it crossed over or something, but he definitely has a very powerful composition skill set based on the knowledge that he has with the djenty heaviness, you know. So the message is, good morning, Jeebs in chat. Yeah, I'm sure you put this message in before I listened to 17 hours worth of... not sure if I'll be awake yet when you play this, but I guarantee it'll wake you up, okay? Stank face at the ready. Gravemind are a deathcore metalcore band from Melbourne, and I'm quite sure that Mick Gordon is familiar to many. Oh, that's right, he is from Australia, that's right. The video's pretty cool too. All right, let's do this. This is Gravemind featuring Mick Gordon. The name of the song is Failstate. Let's go. beating the shit out of those zeros. Oh, love me some bendy. Give me some bendy, please. Thank you. I don't know why I just went to an Indian thing, but I just went bendy. This video's badass. Is this really a game, guys? Is this where it's coming from? Or is this the video? Brilliant. Hear a little arpeggiation in the background of the pattern. Maybe that's more of a key, I'm not sure. Ow, it's hurting my neck. I'm snapping at it so gnarly. This is the chokehold breakdown. How they do that. So freaking badass, this track. Is that Mick? Was that Mick? I don't, a while ago, about a year and a half ago, we actually kind of tagged each other for an opportunity to do an interview, but he was caught up in the middle of that thing that was going on between his music and I think Doom. I don't remember now, but he was nice enough to respond to me, and we were getting ready to do it, but we couldn't quite nail the time. So this guy, without a doubt, has probably the most gut-punching sense of heaviness and darkness, and I do associate it with Doom and stuff, because that's how I was introduced to him as a composer. And who else was talking? Who else was talking really highly about him as a human as well as a composer? Was oh shit! Why can't I remember the composer from Halo? It's happening, guys. I'm slowly losing my mind, or it's just been one hell of a stream. Anyhow, when I did that interview with him, he was also spoke very highly of him as a person. Marty O'Donnell. He spoke very highly of him as a person as well. But he has a sense of, now I know this is a band, but with the influence perhaps, since I don't know what this band sounds like previous to this listen, it's really, for me, it was really easy for me to identify perhaps what his contribution could have been compositionally. Another thing, like I said earlier, beating the shit out of the zeros. So that's obviously the open lowest note, I think, maybe. But there's a very unique technique to get that to sound smoking without it sounding like it's over produced. Something else that I recognize, or whether it's part of him being featured on this track or not, is the very unique bending of the strings, as a dynamic in something as heavy as this. So now I've kind of rinsed on him a little bit, but the whole band sounded phenomenal. This vocalist is bone crushing. A lot of layers in the vocal performance as far as the darkness. I don't know what that newer technique is all about, where you can take a vocal that's grindy and dark and pig squealy. I don't know what the right terminology is it's called now, but whatever, they sidechain it and make it even fatter and darker, and maybe like high pass filter off the high ends and stuff like that, and low pass up the low end, and something that gives it such a rich, thick, dark, gnarly sound. It's just mind numbing. And then for the video, of course, I thought for a second it was a real game, but it's spot on. So the branding of it all took a shape and a form, I think, that was more directed towards Mick perhaps being a featured composer or musician with the band. Nonetheless, that was a ball-crushing track. I loved every freaking bit of it. Maybe I should try to reach out to him one more time. I don't know. So I'll tell him, I go, hey, man, I got a bunch of Australian friends in the chat. He was really busy back then. When we were trying to kind of pull it together, he was right in the middle of that really big thing that was going on between he and, was it Bethesda? Who it was like a Doom release or something, like music got released that shouldn't have gotten released, or payment or something. It was heavy. It was heartbreaking because that's just the kind of shit that happens to musicians, you know, and between companies. It was heartbreaking for me to kind of, you know, kind of hear his story. So anyhow, Kebab Seller. I know the Kebab Seller's not with us and hasn't been for a little bit. I hope you're doing well, Kebab Seller. And of course, I know that you'll catch this on the VOD. Good to have you back. And so we're going to be listening to, we got some anime music coming in. And this is, the anime is One Piece, and the song is Aim for One Piece. Let's see, the message is, I stepped out of my burrow a while back. Excuse me. A while back, I requested multiple One Piece tracks back to back. I'm going to do just that again. A One Piece marathon, if you would say yes. This particular track depicts the pursuit of dreams, adventures, exploring the mysteries of the ocean world, finding pirates, treasures. Oh, nice. I like that little theater of the mind before we get going. Anyhow, Kebab, welcome back. Here we go. Let's do this. Everybody say hi to the Kebab Seller. All right. Huge. Beautiful work. It's kind of like a whole new, you know, any one of those exploratory, like you just explained. It's beautiful, perfect. I would have loved to have seen this in motion, like against scene. That's amazing, Kazi. This is making me drift right now. Like, I'm not crying, you are. Such a beautiful piece. There's a couple more cues coming on this, like he said, but Kazi, just to know that this is 20 years in the going with no stop, and these composers do this. There's got to be some sick money behind this on the music too, for live. I love that move right there. Holy doink, 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 doink. Who is this composer? I guess it must change, right? I mean, after 20 years worth of composition. This must be a little Schwarmy scene, maybe crossing a desert, or maybe dark seas with clouds or something, and lightning in the distance, maybe. Kohei Tanaka and Shiro Hamaguchi, masters in my book. I love that sultry little pattern behind percussively. Sexy moment of piano there. Oof. Beautiful harmony on that. Oh, was that it? Oh, damn. The Kebab Seller, you have no idea how much I love this. You had to be here for the whole 50 hours before this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. Kazi, when you dropped that on me and you reminded me that this is 20 years of a I'm probably going to say this wrong, manga. That is a continual moving body of work over 20 years. And there's this one little comment that you kind of can't see at the bottom, that this was one of the best mangas ever, which I'm not part of, the media fan base, so I would know. I was recently introduced to that. Just listening to the music, to me, defines the kind of respect that this anime has probably grown to pull from its, authentic, loyal fans. The music in of itself produced in my head such escapism. I didn't even to see. I mean, the thumbnail is pretty, there's some really unique things in the thumbnail. There's a little skeleton there, and there's Journey, and I'm sure there's other great things to go with it. But the music provided me with such escapism and put me on such a journey. And of course, the way I listened to it as well, just really so enjoyed the softer dynamics of incredibly well-written arrangements. Albeit even if it's a single harmony with maybe a clarinet and a flute that was meandering around, or the occasional, punchy little stabby piano lines that would come in and out, like you saw me make that face. I was like, whoa, piano. But what a great listen. I have just been neutralized. Finally, I'm neutralized. Not neutered, just neutralized. I'm just saying. Thank you, the Kebab Seller. That was great. Wow. So dug that. Okay, let me see. What do we got next here? Next, we have Sartrick. We have another game in the house, and this game is called A Shell in the Pit. Did I ever do anything from this? A Shell in the Pit. The message is, love your work, mate. Thank you very much. But thank you for providing me with music for me to do what I do. So thanking you back as well for your dono. This is Ghost on the Road. And the request is, I've been vibing with this song since the game Pacific Drive launched last year. Would love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, let's do this all together. Here we go. It's almost like The vacations station wagon fell into hell or something. Sludgy. Sludgy yet delicate.
Sulfur and smoke glows through the snow and smells like money. Rivers for spines between the dry pines of bones unbecoming.
Yeah, that was what I was getting. Chris Isaac kind of vibe there.
You might have to hang behind me.
I love that pattern. It's kind of like sitting just... The vibe is right behind the beat.
Red eyes on the highway.
Gritty analog dark horn synth right there.
Ghost on the road. It's a cold one. What a white one. My heart it froze. It's a cold one. Thinking of home. You might have to hang behind me, hang behind me.
I really enjoy this arrangement.
Hang behind these lights on the highway.
Very heady. What kind of a game is this? Anybody knows? Just by the look of the thumbnail, it looks like it's like National Lampoon's Vacation took a nosedive or something. It's a driving game, huh? I like there's a little bit of a two-step vibe going in there in double time. It's being played off of the delay and feedback, but that's badass. I like that.
You might have to hang behind me, hands behind me. You might have to hang behind these lights on the highway. You might have to hang behind me, pass behind me.
Ah, the trip hop vibe. Yeah, non-offensive. That's...
These dead eyes on the highway.
If this is a driving game, I would have flown off a cliff, though. I'd be allowed tripping and like... Nice. What a trippy ass track. What I don't, Mason, I do get those vibes as well. But if it was like in the, not the Desperado, what was that other bar weird movie that Tarantino, I forget how to say his name. That first movie where it's like all the weird things inside a bar kind of a thing. I forgot the name of that movie that he did. That would have been that track, like in a bar. That would have been that kind of a Dusk Till Dawn, right thing. Quentin Tarantino, sorry. That would have been that. Now, for me, as I'm listening to this, it really put my head into the listening mode where for me to be playing a game and listening to this, I don't know how effective that would have been. Because if you're driving around and doing things, and this was part of that soundtrack, it would have been like a unique thing of like, what are they putting this under in this driving scene in the game? Like, where are they going through and stuff like that? The reason why I say that is because I don't know the game, but I think that most driving games are about tempo or speed or something. And this was kind of all, I mean, it still stayed kind of in its thing, but there was a couple of little things that kind of snuck itself in and out, you know? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the abstract aspect in the production of it as well. You know, a lot of the outside sounds of using loops or, you know, recreating, let's say assimilating darker guitar crunches with synthy stabs, something like that. Excuse me. Hey, the bus is in the town. The bus showed up. It's 1 a.m. All right. What's next? The driver. How's it, driver? How are you? Oh, shit, man. I got lots of adidonos. Let's see here. What do we got here? We got, I don't think the driver may have stepped away for a little bit. Let me see. This one is a song called Chasing Sunrise. The band is Metrik featuring Elizabeth Troy. And the message is good morning or afternoon, depending on when you see this. Here's some drum and bass with a morning theme name that I totally didn't just choose for the morning stream. It'll help jumpstart your day. That'll make you want to chase the sunrise. Yeah, we're a little late for that, for this stream. This song might actually bring me to a comfortable, soft moment in waking up, because I woke up feeling fine, but after the first 2 hours, I could. All right, guys, this is the driver coming to us with the song Chasing Sunrise from the band Metrik featuring Elizabeth Troy. Let's go. Hey, there you are, driver. How's it? Wasn't expecting the voice. Sounds great.
Because you said you knew another way, a better path we could take.
Featuring Elizabeth Troy, I get it.
We'll be alright, said it's alright. Keep running away. We're looking alive.
I love the voicings of the piano. They're all nice and clustered, really nice. And I also like where the piano's being played in the midsection of the range. So it's really living in a beautiful spot against her voice. Or it could be a one-finger arpeggiation that's going on there, of course. really like that tom fill right there. Love me those vocal shots. I had to write like 20 tracks with those vocal shots like 3 years ago.
Get away, break the scene, break it up and leave it. Because you said you knew another way.
I'm gonna have to listen to it again to pull that Australia.
In you I see my future. Oh, and it's so bright. Keep running away. We're looking alive. Keep running away. Losing tonight. Chasing sunrise.
Great build. You were right about the fact that this is a great track to listen to, like if you're on your way to work and you need a mood shift, and you know, this brings it. Ooh, nice. Unexpected chord change there. Monophonic patch there. Oh, it's over? Bummer. I was into it. I was like my head was gone. It's another one of those palate cleansing kind of vibey tracks. Kind of put me in a really good mood. I didn't even break a sweat or lactate. You know if you don't remember what happened earlier. That sounds like a stupid joke. Anyhow, I really loved what I loved. I love the chord voicing was clustered very close to each other, so everything was played within the octave instead of spread out in the voicings. The chords that were there. It's kind of these major sevenths that were bopping around and filled in between. Enjoyed that. Her voice is phenomenal. I love the tone of her voice against that, which I already mentioned all of that earlier. The vocal shot thing is also kind of fun to listen to. Well, if you don't, as well for myself, if you don't know what a vocal shot is, for those of you who are just listening to music, it's when that voice is oh, 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 and you can tell that the tone of it changed as it stayed out of its original sample pocket. So, if it's sampled on C, middle C, and it's the, you can still play it across the keyboards, but then it changes its tone based on the position on the keyboard. It'll sound more robotic or less, whatever the case is. I like that as an effect, and actually the one-shot vocal thing is a thing in sample libraries for composers. And I had to buy one. I got a job, like I said, 3 years ago, and I had to write like 20 different tracks for this other library that had one-shots. They loved the one-shot thing, so I had to do a bunch of these tracks with one-shots and stuff. And so it's a fun tool in the toolbox in all this. And the last thing I want to say about this, I love the crispiness of the D&B. I mean, of the beat. It wasn't. Sometimes when I listen to music like this, one of the things I notice is that thing. There's always some kind of trickery on it. It could be lo-fi. It's swimming a little bit. This was just nice and clean and straight, and I really dug that. So good stuff. Amen break. Yes, yes, the amen break. Actually, that's what Australia had mentioned that earlier. Excuse me. So, super sick. Loved it. Mahalo. Okay, next up is Henderblur. Henderblur, are you here with us? How are you? Henderblur? Let's see what Henderblur wants here. By the way, before we get to Henderblur's track, I did notice that there's quite a few new people that have come in with their donations and stuff like that, dono boosts. If it doesn't happen on this stream or the next stream, you don't catch the stream, I always export all of these onto the VOD channel on YouTube, so make sure you just go over there and just subscribe or just keep an eye on it, you know. So if you do miss it because you have to go, and this is a 47-hour stream and it never stops seemingly, that VOD channel will always have whatever it is that you did here. Boink, something like that. So let's see what we're doing here now. And there's the right there, my one of my friends just shared that YouTube channel there, the avocado channel. And also, yes, that other one too. There's a one on Odyssey. All right, here we go. This next track is Mass of the Fermenting Dogs. And this is from Fermenting Dregs. Sorry, dude. Mass of the Fermenting Dregs. The name of the song is Endroll. And the message is Mass of the Fermenting Dregs is a Japanese post-hardcore shoegaze band, but branched out with their style a lot. They did pretty well, apparently. This track is a standout from them in the middle of a short 6-song album of 3 to 4 minutes. Fast-paced rock tracks. You get 9-minute epic instrumental. I saw them live last fall, and this was incredible. All right, Hendenblur, if you're still here, we're doing this. Let's go. I did say fermented dogs, visibility 0. That is funny. That would be a nasty alcohol. All right, let's see what we got here. Bum ba da bum 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 bum. Ooh, already loving the vibe. I like that. The bass is taking the melody. Love the sound of the snare. It's a nice deep snare. I like this. It's just the arrangements are just so, they're kind of intoxicating. There's our shoegazy. And I think that snare tone is also a very important part of the shoegaze sound as well. Ooh, nice. I love this, man. God, that bass tone when he's playing up there in the melody. The picking pattern of the guitar there is really nice. I thought they were going to get into maybe a little more of a gaze mode there. Oh, I love that arrangement. Whatever that. I'm sorry, it sounds horrible, but you hear it? Love that. Nice. I mean, obviously it's layered vocals in there, but it's so cool. They're not going too far. This is great, man. This is one of those things again. You guys are saying it's a three-piece band. It sounds full. It's emotionally full, even in the genre of this clean, dark shoegaze vibe. Nice change. This is a great build. There's no two ways about it. Didn't even feel like 9 minutes worth of work. I think it really plays into the theater of the mind of a lot of different emotional pulls. I mean, being there's no vocalist who's singing lyrics and pulling you into a story. I think for myself, the way I'm listening to it, it helps me put a soundtrack to discursive thinking or any kind of anxiety or stressed out or something vibes to it. I think that's what we look for in music. Like, how does music, when we listen to it, at what time of the day, how is it that it helps us with our theater of the mind as acting as a soundtrack of life vibe? Shoegaze is new to me, as of this journey in my life, already being in the late, where I'm at in my 60s. But I've been so intrigued by the process, and even though shoegaze in of itself as a genre is not, as massive, or maybe it's more massive than I know, but let's just say metalcore or things of that nature. I think it has such an incredibly important part in a rock genre, as a genre in rock. They also use these very unique techniques, to get their guitars to sound just saturated but long and ethereal and ambient. What I really appreciated about this track also is the work that the bass player was doing. There was a lot of that. The bass came up in with the melody, and did a lot of work that wasn't like, I'm a bass player that's going to try to kill it in the melody, as much as very tasteful playing. And also, as I'm learning about shoegaze, I think what I had said earlier about, I was loving the sound of the snare just as engineering ears. But, what I've realized is that another thing about shoegaze, it sounds like, I'm sure I'm wrong in some of the shoegazes, just because you hear one doesn't mean that you know them all, but it's a very uncompressed genre. Does that make sense? Like the rawness and the organic aspect of it in its recording and its sound, and in the way the shoegaze musicians, stomp pedals and all that, doesn't sound like there's just this like compressed. At least in the mastering. Let's put it that way. In the mastering, it breathes really well. So anyhow, guys, I need to just take literally a 2-minute break. I'm not going to switch over scenes or anything. I'm just going to mute the mic. That phone call or the text came right in the middle of that song. I got to respond to it. So just hang out for a second. I'm just going to step away from the mic. And I just want to return this person's phone call. Stand by for 1 second, guys. I got it. Somebody called me out on it. I tried to realize it. I remembered it was too late. Everybody. What are you going to do? I only have about 40 minutes because they're going to show up and I've got to do my thing. And I am taxed as a mofo. So I'm going to come in tomorrow and finish up this stream. Nonetheless, so I do have some time. So let's just keep going. Next up is Crab 9000. Crab 9000 would like us to listen to band T Square open the 35th gate. And here's the message. This is the opening number from the band 35th anniversary concert in 2013. Oops, excuse me. Sorry. Where they invited all of their past members to perform, which they've got like 20 people on stage instead of their usual 5. The song was written specifically for this concert by the drummer in red and serves as a sort of an introduction for the multiple generations of musicians. I'm sorry, I got hiccups sharing the stage. The guitarist is with the white Strat, is the band's founder and the main songwriter, and the only person never to leave the band. The one with the hat was briefly in a band as a second guitarist in 1978, and the one in the blue guitar is the guitarist from the Cassiopeia, of which I know I've seen a few of them. Okay, it starts at 2 and goes until 10, so this is an 8-minute track. All right, guys, let's do this. This is from Crab 9000. Let's go. Wow. Major, major. The smallest little triangle that you saw, you can still hear it. That's how good the engineering is. Got that up there on that neck pickup. So freaking musical. Uh-oh. Bass Wars. Holy shit. Oh yeah. Maybe that old Dusty Rhodes kind of vibe. So melodic, so fun, lighthearted, love boat, you know what I mean? Such a pleasant jam. Nice. Marco minimum approach. Imagine the rehearsal hall these guys had to work out at to get all the glitches. This is so fun and so laughy, buddy. But funny enough, with all the drummers playing all at once too, they actually sound great. Sometimes that can be really tricky. Huge. Absolutely freaking huge. What a great listen, man. That was just such a... When you get to see musicians really enjoy themselves so much, especially in like a reunion thing like this is like... Could you imagine these guys? It probably took them like on the first rehearsal 2 to 3 hours to get to playing the instruments because they were all catching up on who had kids, who's got grandkids, how you been, how are you doing with that band, what happened over here, how's Steve, you know, I hear you bought a coffee shop, you know, whatever the case is. Could you imagine that kind of energy in such a legacy band? You know what I mean? That's that whole thing. And then they probably, oh, God, shit, we got to do music, guys, let's play. You know what I mean? And this is like... Whoever was the bandmaster of this particular arrangement or anything they did during this particular show, this reunion show, could you imagine the kind of work that person had to do or a couple of people had to assemble who's playing this part, what's playing this part, what's going on here. Make sure this drummer is playing more light-handed, but this guy's more of the tom fills. Bass players, you guys every 8 bars switch back and forth. I mean, that's a lot of, you know, hell of yes, well organized is exactly what I say. And or you help me say it better in less words. Well organized. All right, next up, Crossface Buffalo. How are you? Oh my God. Crossface Buffalo wants us to listen to a band called Arodes. The name of the song is Kidz, extended mix. Great. Extended mix. This is just what I'm going to call this stream, is extended mix. Adrian Rodriguez, a.k.a. Arodes, is a DJ and producer from Spain. He has garnered notability for creating sound atmospheres that transform the dance floor into a beaming haven and evoke unforgettable memories. I heard this track a few months ago on a State of Trance weekly show and has stuck with me since. Ugh, I can't read. I'll post the lyrics in a chat if I'm around. Well, you're around, so you need to post the lyrics in your chat. Okay, let's go. This is the band or the artist Arodes, and the name of the song is Kidz, extended mix. Here we go. Fieldy vibe. I'm cruising with it. Yeah, just when you put that album on, I was like, huh? I see what you see. We were getting seasickness. I like that. Nice grow. I love the piano in there. Odd with that little skid mark sound, you know? I don't know why I called it a skid mark sound. Has that front to back thing. Sorry. I'm sorry. Kind of quirky. The piano. Rhythmic, the phrasing. Quirky in a good way, though. Yeah. Like this. I guess in the art form of being a DJ in a very, I don't know if this would be club oriented or whatever, is to create these very ambient, rhythmical patterns that sink you into it in kind of an MDNA kind of saturated vibe, like heroic dose. You know, you're just sitting there just doing escapism. I like how he brings it right back down. We're just staying it with the eighths on the note on bass. A remix it was. I liked it. It put me in a sedate mode, even though it's got that bounce to it. I was sedated. I was medicated, sedentary. I thought it was really unusual though. There was that ripping sound that kept on zip, zip, which it was very unique in the abstract kind of way. In my mind, it did. When I was like kind of soothing into a couple of the other melodies that the DJ was arranging or playing or programming. I don't even know how that works anymore, how DJs like this do what they do for creating music. If it's like live, you know, I've seen all the boards with the buttons and they hit something and they actually, they're musical. I just don't know what the process is like. You know, when I was a DJ, you just had to match speeds between two albums and lock in the kick with one thing and then whoosh, have a nice day until all the scratching and stuff showed up. So, and I know that there's tremendously heavily successful DJs, millionaire, billionaire types that have done nothing but show up with the gear and produce live on the fly, or maybe programmed at home and do things, go back and forth. I love the spaciness of it. I think the trance thing also as another genre is something that I've really enjoyed. But it's a long haul. So in other words, a trance song doesn't necessarily just go for like, in it to a minute to win it radio play of 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. It's usually something that's very long, and it gives you opportunities to let the arrangements grow and pull off. And, the DJ or the composer, muting this out, adding this, flipping, MIDI information or trigger. I don't know how that all works.